I'm James Derian. I'm the director of the Center for International Security Studies here at the University of Sydney. And I'm also a documentary filmmaker working really at the interface between technology and geopolitics. Well, the missiles have been there for some time. What's changed has been the permission now to use them deeper into Russian territory, which I don't, has been triggering all kinds of counter responses, most of them rhetorical from Putin. But generally, what they do is effectively allow the Ukrainian forces to strike, supply depots, massing of troops, even potentially missile sites that are within the range of the ATACMS and the other, you know, short-range missiles up to 300 kilometers. It's led to tactical shifts for sure. I mean, largely it's sort of a tit for tat, offensive, defensive, responses with the first introduction of, drones that were weaponized that could destroy, like, massed armor, attacks. Now it's turned into each side becoming a bit more savvy, particularly in jamming, electronic jamming, so that they're rendered less accurate or simply just rendered useless. The the major difference now is the use of sort of swarming, these massed attacks using multiple missiles, all the way from the inexpensive drones up to the very expensive hypersonic missiles that can defeat defensive systems. Some missiles do get through, as we've seen, and if they hit, for instance, um, you know, generation plant, the electrical plants, then you will have a profound effect on the infrastructure of Ukraine and potentially Russia. I think it's the beginning of the end of the war, and that both sides realize the the game plan is going to change with the regime change in the United States. Um, Trump does need a win immediately, quickly. He's billed this as one of his strong suits, personal transactional foreign policy, particularly with other global leaders that he sees as his peers, Putin, Xi, and others. I think this is going to be why we're going to see compressed amount of violence in a short, spell between now and January, and each side trying to regain some territory and possibly negate the gains that were, potential gains of bringing North Korea into the conflict. Um, so I'm more concerned now than I was perhaps at any moment, except for when the last time it looked like Russia was on its heels and it threatened to use tactical nuclear warheads, and the U.S. issued a very, very strong, stern warning about that use. I think we're back at that moment where if there are breakthroughs, um, we could see some potentially very risky maneuvers by either side.